that I was offended when he told me the story that someone thought that I was a man, because my brother's clearly a guy, and he said that he was offended that someone thought he was an actor.
Do we ever really see the full picture behind Hollywood's brightest icons, or are there still chapters waiting quietly in the shadows? Over time, the figures we've long admired have revealed layers far more complex than the images once presented to the world. For some, keeping pace with these changes can feel like watching a story constantly being rewritten. Yet within these journeys lies something deeper, an exploration of identity, resilience, and the courage to live in alignment with one's inner truth. Each story becomes less about labels and more about the evolving nature of self-expression in a world that never stands still. So what truly defines fame in your eyes? Is it the spotlight or the strength behind it? In this episode, we'll explore lesser-known personal journeys of well-known figures, uncovering surprising moments, and ending with a reflection that may shift how you see authenticity itself. The story of Fallon Fox occupies a complex and often thought-provoking space within the broader conversation about identity and competitive sports. More than a narrative of athletic pursuit, her journey reflects a deeply personal path toward authenticity, shaped alongside the challenge of seeking understanding in a traditionally structured arena. Raised in Ohio, Fox grew up in an environment where established roles and expectations were strongly emphasized. From an early age, she experienced a quiet but persistent sense of misalignment between her inner identity and the path that seemed laid out before her. Coming to terms with that reality was neither quick nor easy for Fallon Fox. When she eventually chose to live openly, some responses within her family were marked by difficulty rather than acceptance, including efforts aimed at reshaping her identity. Rather than discouraging her, these experiences seemed to reinforce her determination to move forward with honesty and self-alignment. After her transition, Fox stepped into the world of mixed martial arts, becoming the first openly transgender woman to compete at a professional level in the sport. Her presence soon sparked widespread discussion. Some voices raised questions about fairness and physical differences in competition, while others emphasized the importance of inclusion and respecting established guidelines within athletic framework. Yet perhaps her greatest challenge was not physical, but social. For Fallon Fox, relationships within the sport began to shift, as some training partners and peers who once saw her simply as an athlete started viewing her through a more debated lens. Despite this change, she chose not to step away. Instead, she continued competing with the intention of contributing to a larger conversation, one that asks how fairness, inclusion, and evolving understanding can coexist in modern sports. Her legacy is shaped not only by outcomes in competition, but by the thoughtful and ongoing questions her journey continues to bring into focus. For much of her life, Caitlyn Jenner existed between two contrasting worlds that rarely seemed to align. To the public, she was Bruce Jenner, a celebrated Olympic champion whose victory in 1976 came to symbolize determination and national pride. Yet beneath that widely recognized image was a deeply personal journey, shaped by an ongoing search for identity that began long before the spotlight ever appeared. From an early age, there was a quiet awareness, an unspoken sense that something within did not fully match the role the world expected her to play. Growing up in an era when discussions around identity were seldom explored and often clouded by misunderstanding, she found herself without the words or guidance to articulate what she felt within. Instead, she poured her focus into athletics, where structure and achievement became a quiet refuge. While success brought recognition, family milestones, and widespread admiration, it never fully eased the deeper sense of imbalance she carried. Over time, even moments of opening up to those closest to her were tempered by hesitation, an undercurrent shaped by uncertainty, concern, and the possibility of losing what had long defined her world. This was never about transformation for spectacle or recognition, but about endurance and the quiet necessity of living in truth. After years of reflection and inner dialogue, Jenner chose to step forward with clarity and purpose. In 2015, at the age of 65, she introduced herself to the world as Caitlyn Jenner, marking the moment with a widely discussed cover feature and the powerful words, "Call me Caitlyn." Among the individuals who have helped broaden today's cultural conversation, Laverne Cox stands as one of the most impactful voices of her era. Long before she became widely recognized on screen and beyond, her path was shaped by quiet strength, self-exploration, and steady determination. Raised in Alabama, she sensed early on that her inner world did not fully align with the expectations placed upon her. Growing up within a conservative and deeply faith-centered environment, she faced the challenge of understanding herself amid perspectives that often struggled to accept experiences like her own. As a teenager, her natural femininity often drew unwanted attention, intensifying a sense of isolation that extended into her early adult years. Yet even during those challenging moments, she discovered a quiet refuge in artistic expression, especially dance, which allowed her brief glimpses of freedom and self-alignment. Though she was often discouraged from pursuing interests considered unconventional, her connection to creative spaces never faded, offering her a place where she could feel more complete. The emotional weight of holding back her true self gradually built into a deeply personal crossroads. Rather than becoming an ending, however, it marked the beginning of a new direction. Seeking both freedom and a deeper sense of truth, Laverne Cox made the pivotal move to New York City, where she began living more openly and embracing her path with growing clarity and confidence. Her breakthrough arrived with the role of Sophia Bursette on Orange is the New Black, introducing audiences to a character portrayed with depth, dignity, and emotional nuance. Beyond the screen, Cox has continued to shape conversations around visibility and understanding, using her voice to encourage a broader perspective. Her message, often reflected in the phrase "trans is beautiful," resonates as a reminder that self-acceptance is not only attainable, but a powerful force capable of reshaping how identity is seen and understood across generations. Among younger voices helping to shape today's understanding of identity, Jazz Jennings represents a powerful new chapter, one defined not by later life realization, but by early self-awareness and the strength of family support. From a very young age, she expressed a clear and consistent understanding of who she was. Even before having the language to fully explain it, she recognized herself as a girl, despite how others initially perceived her. At just 6 years old, she spoke openly about her experience in a national television interview with Barbara Walters, becoming one of the youngest individuals to share such a personal journey on a public stage. Her sense of self stood out with remarkable clarity. Jazz Jennings gravitated naturally toward forms of expression that reflected her inner identity, and when misunderstood, she responded with a calm but confident voice, gently affirming who she was. This steady consistency made her perspective increasingly clear to those around her. What truly distinguished her journey, however, was the unwavering support of her family. Rather than questioning or limiting her experience, her parents chose understanding, building a home environment rooted in encouragement and respect. That strong foundation became essential as she moved through school life and adapted to growing public attention, offering stability in a world that was still learning how to listen. Her life later became the focus of the TLC series I Am Jazz, offering viewers a closer look at the emotional and social layers of growing up while discovering one's identity. Through television, social platforms, and advocacy work, Jazz Jennings emerged as a prominent voice for young people navigating similar paths, even earning recognition from Time as one of the most influential teens of her generation. Her story extends beyond a single journey. It reflects early self-awareness, the strength that comes from family support, and the meaningful impact young voices can have in broadening understanding across an ever-evolving society. When legendary entertainers Sonny Bono and Cher welcomed their child Chastity in 1969, Few could have foreseen the deeply personal path that would unfold in the years ahead. Growing up in the public eye, surrounded by fame and expectation, Chaz Bono experienced a persistent sense that the identity assigned at birth did not fully reflect his inner truth. From an early age, there was a quiet but steady awareness, an internal disconnect from being perceived as female that gradually deepened as he navigated life under the constant gaze of the spotlight. For decades, Chaz Bono worked to meet both societal and familial expectations, quietly setting aside parts of himself in the process, a weight that grew increasingly difficult to carry. In the late 2000s, after years of reflection and inner dialogue, he made the decision to move forward with clarity, beginning to live publicly in alignment with his true identity. Around the age of 40, he pursued medical steps that helped bring his outer presence closer to his inner sense of self. This was not about becoming someone new, but about restoring a sense of wholeness that had long felt out of reach. In doing so, Chaz's journey also signaled a meaningful shift in how he engaged with the public, opening the door to a more authentic and purposeful presence. He went on to become a clear and thoughtful voice for visibility and understanding, using his personal experiences to help bridge gaps in awareness. Chaz Bono also stepped into the world of acting, appearing in projects such as American Horror Story, contributing to broader and more nuanced representation in media. His mother, Cher, has openly shared that acceptance was a journey in itself, one that unfolded over time. Today, her enduring support and pride reflect a larger truth. Understanding is not fixed, and when given space to grow, family bonds can remain strong and resilient through change. Before the world came to know her as Andrea Pejic, she had already carved out a remarkable presence in high fashion under a different name, one that stood at the intersection of convention and reinvention. As a model, she drew global attention for her ability to move seamlessly between menswear and womenswear, challenging long-standing boundaries in an industry often defined by clear divisions. Born in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and later resettled in Australia after fleeing conflict, she grew up navigating complex questions of identity in environments where nuance was not always easily understood. From an early age, Andrea Pejic felt a natural connection to femininity, something that offered comfort, yet also brought moments of uncertainty within a world that often expected clear definitions. As a teenager, her androgynous appearance drew both admiration and distance, placing her in a space between visibility and isolation. In time, fashion became both a refuge and a form of expression, a rare environment where individuality could be recognized rather than questioned. Yet even as her career flourished, the deeper sense of self she carried remained an evolving and unfinished story. She did not see herself within the role others had assigned to her. In 2014, after thoughtful, emotional, and physical preparation, Andrea Pejic chose to move forward with her transition, describing it not as a sudden shift, but as a necessary step toward inner balance. Rather than closing one chapter, this decision allowed her path to expand. She returned to the fashion world with renewed confidence and a clearer sense of self. In 2015, she made history as one of the first openly transgender models to appear on the cover of GQ Portugal. Her journey stands as a compelling reflection of authenticity both within fashion and beyond, showing that personal truth can persist and evolve, even in spaces still learning how to fully embrace it. Carmen Carrera first came to public attention through her appearance on RuPaul's Drag Race, where her striking presence and polished performances quickly distinguished her from the crowd. At the time, she was widely recognized as a drag performer, celebrated for artistry and visual impact rather than for her personal identity. Yet beyond the stage and camera, she was navigating a more profound understanding of herself. As she began her transition, an unexpected challenge emerged, being seen not fully as a woman, but as a persona shaped by the lens of reality television, a perception she would later work to redefine on her own terms. Many viewers and media outlets continued to interpret her through the framework of performance, often overlooking the distinction between artistry and personal identity. For Carmen Carrera, this misunderstanding became one of the most difficult aspects of her journey. Determined to live with honesty, she chose to speak openly about the importance of thoughtful language and accurate representation in media. At times, her willingness to question commonly used terms sparked debate, even within parts of the LGBTQ+ community. Still, she remained steady in her perspective that true visibility should always be rooted in respect, clarity, and human dignity. Rather than stepping away from the spotlight, Carmen Carrera chose to transform criticism into momentum. Over time, she built a presence in the fashion world while continuing to speak on issues of awareness and representation. Her focus has remained less on spectacle and more on normalization, encouraging a broader shift towards seeing transgender individuals through the lens of everyday humanity and respect. Her journey reflects a wider evolution from performance to purpose, illustrating how personal truth, when expressed with clarity and conviction, can influence meaningful change in the way society understands identity. From the deeply personal journeys of Caitlyn Jenner, Laverne Cox, Jazz Jennings, Fallon Fox, Chaz Bono, Andrea Pajic, and Carmen Carrera, a shared truth begins to take shape. The journey toward authenticity is rarely straightforward, yet it carries a depth of meaning that extends far beyond the individual. Each path reflects not only personal resolve, but also a broader shift in how identity is understood across time. Some discovered their voice later in life, while others recognized it from the very beginning. Some encountered public debate, others faced quieter moments of distance. Yet, across every story, one choice remains constant: the decision to move forward with honesty rather than remain held back by uncertainty. Together, their experiences remind us that identity is not shaped by expectation, but guided by inner truth. And perhaps most importantly, they reveal that while understanding may take time, meaningful change begins when individuals choose to live with authenticity and courage. Thank you for spending these moments with us. If this story sparked your curiosity or gave you something to reflect on, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Your support helps us continue uncovering stories that inform, inspire, and connect. Until the next journey, thank you for watching.